Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Vinyl Corner. Today we are doing an interview with Houston-based legend Slim Guerilla.
Trying to lock me in the cell so I can write in hell. Call my nigga Almighty, tell me to get my need that bail. He said no doubt, but what the fuck you talking about? Man, I let you know, just pull me up to my bitch's house. Pulled off in all black, sipping on some fucking yak. Eyes red as hell from smoking on the sack, back to back.
This is done all through my good friends over at Bligatory. We'll put links and everything down in the description. Thanks to these guys, we got this interview set up. Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with Slim Guerilla, he is a former Raider Klan member. He is the founder of Passion Playas. He's been out here doing his thing for over a decade, and he's probably one of your favorite rappers' favorite rapper. Again, thank you so much for joining us. This is huge for me. I'm a big fan, so thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
Man, appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for having me, man.
So starting off, I'm gonna kind of go through this a little chronologically because, again, I've kind of followed the whole Raider thing since pretty early on. It was like the first movement in music that was like big for me personally. Starting off at the beginning, you were doing freestyles and stuff like that on YouTube, and through that, you kind of made a slight relationship with someone who is very contentious, Mr. SpaceGhostPurpp.
Yeah, it's my brother, man. Shout out to Purpp.
Yeah, Purpp is an absolute legend. I feel like his kind of mystique and his whole character that he plays a lot of the time throws people off, but he's an absolute legend, and he's responsible for so many people's careers and movements, and he is just one of the most influential people of the last 15 years, in my opinion. So I kind of just wanted to talk to you about that and like what that initial movement was like. You know, you were making your music, but then getting discovered by someone like Purpp doing this really interesting new thing. What was that like for you?
So, man, it was crazy, man. So, I originally was, freestyling. I was like fresh out of high school. I was doing culinary arts at the time, but, I was sticking to my hobby of freestyling, dropping stuff on YouTube. And I actually came across Purpp through ASAP Rocky at first, and then from like ASAP Rocky, I went back and I noticed that he collabed with this dude named SpaceGhostPurpp. And from before I got to Purpp's music, I actually ran into Kenayada's music. He's a part of Raider Klan too. Shout out. I was just amazed at what I seen. Like the music that they was putting out, it was basically what I was trying to do the whole time. I just didn't know how I wanted to like really like get that out there, because I was always stuck to like 90s, 80s. Because rap now is so different. You know what I mean? But I always wanted to stick to what I grew up on. So when I came across them, that was when I completely I think I found like this 3-6 Mafia. It was a Kingpin Skinny Pimp beat, and I got up on there and freestyled on that shit, and somehow Purpp found it. Next you know, man, he posted my picture on Twitter and shit, man. From there, man, it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, man. I got really in tune with Raider Klan to that.
Again, like Raiders were like one of the big musical movements that got me into discovering music on my own. And just the amount of different personalities you guys had while all being able to like work with each other comfortably was something that like really opened my eye to like the possibilities of rap music, especially with like underground music. You had Bones working with you. You had all those guys. You had Nell in there. You had Lofty, and you had all those guys, and everybody was doing their own thing, but you all worked together.
We're all from different places too, so it was basically just like one big internet bubble. You had Nell and all them, and like Lofty, they're from Florida. Me and Amber, we're from Houston. Then Chris and Xavier, they're from Memphis. It's just like we all became like one big family from this movement.
And what was cool about that was, again, it just showed that like especially internet-based music had such a potential to go so many different directions, but being able to like work together, that influence has gone on to infest so many different angles without people properly giving its credit. Like people know about Raider Klan and stuff like that, but I feel like it's just now starting to get appreciated to the extent that it deserves. So shortly after that, obviously, you get noticed by SpaceGhostPurpp, people start calling, and you start working with DJ Smokey. He's another guy that a little bit over the past couple of years is starting to get more recognition. And again, he's another person that really doesn't have many interviews out there. What was it like working with him, especially before like everything started to really pop?
So after I dropped my first Klan tape, Texas Funk Volume 1 that I made, I was ready to just keep on working, and I was trying to find some beats that, that fit my sound, because at that time, I feel like I was the only one listening to Tommy Wright. Me and my brother Almighty, we was like the only ones like really like bumping that. So I was really trying to find some beats similar like that. And I found DJ Smokey on Dat Piff.
Oh shit.
I found him on that Piff. He had some beat mixtapes on there, and I picked a few of them out and I rapped on. Well, one was a underground freestyle, and then one was the High as Hell 1994 from the Guerrilla Warfare mixtape. I didn't know how to reach him at the time because I wasn't really big on like, you know, Instagram and Twitter and shit like that. You know, I just freestyled on it and then just uploaded on YouTube. And then I noticed him in the comments. And then from there, it went from YouTube. Then we went to Twitter, and then he was just like, "Man, this is tight." He's like, "I fuck with this, man." He's like let's do something. So he started just sending me beats, and I got on like most of them. And then I decided, you know, to make that a collab tape with me and him.
That's dope. Because again, Smokey, like again, people are starting. He's getting that big name around him now with some of the more modern stuff. Yeah. But like you were one of like the first tapes where it was like a full DJ Smokey produced tape. From there, you go slightly like a couple years forward. The Raider Clan's starting to dismantle, and you start Passion Playas. What was it like? Was there like a process for anyone to get like screened into Passion Playas, or was it just like people that you guys thought were like good for the group?
Well, really, man, at first, you know, when Raider Clan was like disbanding, that was such a dark time, man, because, you know, nobody liked seeing their family fight. You know what I mean? Around that time, it was kind of like, all right, me, Almighty, Young Raw, that actually goes by Cam Curry now, and Dirty Red, we were kind of just like left in the background, like, damn, this is going down. Because, you know, we're second generation Raider Clan. Like, we were supposed to be taking off after. So, like, when that went down, you know, we were just kind of like, damn, you know, this is fucked up, but we're going to keep doing what we do. And before it was actually Passion Playas, it was Fatal Family. So we decided to stick together the last of Raider Clan, and we were supposed to put out this tape. It was I don't know if are you familiar with the 3 6 Mafia album, The Unbreakables?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where it's like it has like DJ Paul, it has Crunchy Black, Juicy J, and then Lord Infamous in the corner.
Yeah.
Well, it was us four. I forgot what we named that tape, but we never finished it, man. We started to just, you know, make different songs here and there, but you know, as time went on, everybody started to do their own thing, and then it was down to me and Almighty and Dirty Red. We couldn't go by Fatal Family no more because we was missing one of our members. You know, he wanted to do his own thing and shit, like from our lifestyles and how we like to socialize, you know what I'm saying, and drink this beautiful potion called Alizé, bro. It just happened on its own, man. We just Passion Playas, bro.
No, exactly. It's just born out of the culture.
We're just like some, you know, we're some family men, you know what I mean? We go about life in the most player fashion, you know what I'm saying? So it came together, bro.
So around that time, this is like 2016, 2017 is like the era where I feel like most people are familiar with your solo stuff, because that's when like Blue Light Cemetery came out, and that's when Iceberg Pimpin' came out. And Blue Light Cemetery is like personally one of my favorite albums ever. Like even to this day, like I still listen to that shit like once a week. I own the vinyl of that, the cassettes of that, like any related merch of that, I always buy it. Like that album literally was like a big pinnacle point of me, like after I graduated.
You know, I didn't think that album was gonna do what it's been doing for years, bro. At the time, you know, we lost one of our members, Zill Green, to cancer, man, and I was just working, bro. I was just making stuff, and I know I made How You Gonna Hate on the Player. Then I was like, man, I'm gonna make one more funk album, but I wanted to base it off of where I come from and add a little bit of history to the paranormal. So Blue Light Cemetery is actually like a real life cemetery that's supposed to be haunted by Civil War soldiers. It's in like Bear Creek or something like that. They say you turn your car off and you just wait a little bit, and you'll hear like tapping on your windshield, and you'll hear like the marching band, or you'll see a soldier like salute you and stuff. Like, it's great. And the reason why they call it Blue Light Cemetery too is because supposedly like you're supposed to see orbs. I decided to take that and, you know what I'm saying, kind of, you know, pay homage to, you know, where I come from and the history of that, but turn it into like this mystical tape, man, about like being haunted by Civil War ghosts, dark pimping. You know what I'm saying? I try to make a little movie out of it.
That's what makes it stand out so much, is because there's like a defined like idea and like place in mind for it. Because it's like the 3-6 stuff is like dark, and a lot of people attribute that to like Memphis, but like your take on it is so specifically Houston, and you can hear all those like screw influences and all that stuff while it's taking from like that dark 3-6 thing.
Yeah, I try.
And you're also teaching.
Together.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You think about Memphis and you think about Houston, they're quite similar, you know, and I feel like Memphis and Houston are like cousins in a sense, because, you know, you got like Gangsta Nip. You know what I'm saying? And then you have 3 6 Mafia. If you put them styles together, I feel like that's kind of like what I was trying to do, but in my own way. You know what I'm saying? So it's a mixture of Houston flows, but Memphis style beats and distortion. You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly. It's got like that Memphis style to it, but like your approach to it is still distinctly like Houston
Like
based, which
Texas,
is
yeah.
again just all these years later, like your flows on that and like the sample choices on there, like there's that Mario coin sound effect, and every time I hear that shit, I'm just like, God damn, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
And
it definitely adds a lot of flavor to the album, man. And like I said, I didn't think that tape was gonna do its purpose. Like I have a lot of people tell me, like, man, this got me through these hard times, or I was homeless. Like a lot of skateheads, a lot of skaters, man, told me, like, man, I used to bump this, like being at the skate park, like alone, man, like going through my depressive thoughts of skating, and that came on. I was like, man, it's just crazy, bro.
in the grand scheme of things, like there's so much music out there, so it's just like crazy that someone found like your mixtape, because you've always been the type to say like you don't promote your shit like super heavily, you don't push it on people like that, like you're like a true like OG like underground kind of guy, where you're like, if someone discovers it and I change their life, like that's dope, but I'm not going to force it on anybody. From there, kind of moving forward a little bit, we go to 2019, and this is an artist that I've always appreciated, but again, not a lot of people have talked to him before. Wi-Fi God. He is such an interesting person. His musical interests, what he likes to listen to in his free time, and what he puts out there, he's just like such a unique dude.
I only recorded one song with Wi-Fi. I haven't met him in person.
Okay.
My producer Genshin, he has a better chemistry with Wi-Fi than I do, because they got tapes together and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, Wi-Fi, bro, he definitely has like a unique style to him, man. Like he's dope. I see how he kind of pays homage to like, the South, and I admire that. So
No, absolutely. Yeah, he's really, really different. And I was going to ask about Genshin because he's obviously such an important part of your musical history and like your style, along with Almighty, of course. You guys have so many collab tapes between the three of you. When did you meet Genshin, and when did you kind of like figure out that he was going to be like your go-to for like a lot of your projects with the production?
man, it's crazy, bro. So I actually met Genshin through another friend on a game. And we was on this game, man. We was on this computer game, and like I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I didn't like Genshin, bro. He was like a troll to me. Like he was just so like immature. He's younger than me, so I'm pretty like stoic and like old head. Like I get no easy, bro. So my boy Zil, man, he was like, "Hey, man, he's cool, man. Give him a chance, bro. He wants to send you a couple beats." I'm like, "Bro, I don't like these beats, bro." Like he's like sampling, anime and stuff. And it's not really, you know what I'm saying. So I gave him a chance, bro, and he sent me this beat, and the first song that we ever made was Bill Collectors. That beat right there, man.
Yeah.
I said, man, I need more of that. And then
absolutely,
our friendship built through music, man.
Oh, that's awesome. And obviously, Almighty is a carryover friendship from like before and with all the Raider stuff. So y'all have a ton of tapes together, and some of like your best work and some of your only features on some of your stuff are from Almighty. So
yeah.
Did you know Almighty like before the Raider Clan stuff?
No, I actually didn't know Almighty, man. Around the time after like I graduated and I was in school, Almighty noticed that I was kind of liking some of the same stuff he liked. So he reached out to me on Twitter. He was like, man, like, I'm a producer for Raider Clan or whatever. But yeah, he said, I see you like that Tommy Wright stuff. He said, I like that too. I said, yeah, man, we should do something. So he was like, man, we should redo Meet Your Maker. Like he made the beat by scratch. He went back and got the beat by scratch. And like, so we decided to pay homage to Tommy Wright. Because I don't care what nobody say, bro. Nobody was talking about Tommy Wright during Raider Clan. Everybody was 3-6 this, 3-6 that. DJ Paul, Juicy J, nobody was looking back at the old tapes. That's why if you look back on a lot of the videos that are popped up by Meet Your Maker from Tommy Wright, people was like, oh, Raider Clan brought me here. That was me and Almighty. From there, our chemistry got stronger and stronger, man, after that. So.
No, that's dope, because like you were saying, like Tommy Wright's always been like the more like edgy, like the weirder side of like that scene, and 3-6 was like the more approachable like side that like most people get into or like got into at the time. And way too many people nowadays talk about how like Tommy Wright was their favorite rapper when they were 13, like 10, 15 years ago.
I don't know who that is, bro, because Tommy Wright was such an underground Memphis artist. Like you would have to like love that like genre of music to even find Tommy Wright, or like Tommy Wright's affiliates like Lil Ramsey and Max T-Dog and Princess Loco and all them. There's no way, like there's just no way, bro.
And it's like nowadays, like, Yo Gotti's known for his thing, but like, people on the internet will be like, oh, I knew him when he was Lil Yo, and it was like, no, the fuck,
no,
you didn't.
A lot of people, there's people now that I know that listen to Yo Gotti that are like that love that mainstream stuff. Like, yo, this was They're like, what? So there's no way, bro. There's no way that these people know that stuff, man. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
But it's cool, it's cool that they can be recognized for this stuff, because that's why this stuff's on the internet. This is why this music is created. It's for people to see, and even Shawty Pimp's music. A lot of people didn't know who that was either.
A lot of those Memphis guys like got pushed to the side, like because 3-6 blew up so heavy, they kind of just
so
became
heavy. Yeah.
like the ones. So like people forgot about Kingpin, Skinny Pimp, or even just like the side projects. Like nobody like cared about the Coop solo tape until years later and,
just
stuff like that.
About them guys, man, is like I talked to Shawty Pimp over the phone, man, and like he was loving the music. I actually even got him, you can have it on your tapes where you can like kind of to pay homage, what I'm saying, where I got them samples from, you know what I mean? Like he's real cool. And Tommy Wright too, man. I met Tommy Wright like 3 times, man. Tommy Wright is awesome. That's my dog.
Your newer stuff, which when I'm referring to newer, I'm talking about like 2018 to now. You're exploring more of like your R&B kind of chill side. For the most part, you're still dropping certain tapes like that Almighty EP that just came out is like the classic like kind of stuff. It's really cool to see you taking different inspiration, because I feel like too many people get stuck in the 3-6 lane, but at the same time you had so many people doing other things with that style. Like you had the laid back screw stuff as opposed to like the thump screw stuff, and then you had like the more chill side of crunk as opposed to like the abrasive side of it, and it feels like you're channeling that, whereas a lot of artists skip over that. Is that like something you're doing intentionally?
I just love creating, man. Like anything that sounds good to me, anything I'm familiar with, I'm gonna make, man. Like as you can see, like none of my takes sound the same, and I think that's what makes my my following a little different. Like I got all the skate heads that like all the blue light or all the funk stuff. Then I have like like the bougie, like glamorous women, like the passion stuff, or like the how you gonna hate on the player stuff, you know what I mean? Or like my G-Funk is like all my 40 Drake, my OE, saying Loke Shade, I got people from everywhere, like I just love creating different stuff, man. I can't stick to the same thing. I want to do different stuff. So that's why I always say, like, people can see my name and say, like, man, I don't listen to Slim Guerilla, but he has this one song that I like. It's because I have all this different stuff.
You're an artist where, like, no matter what, like, if you give the time to, like, check out a couple different projects, you're going to at least find something that you rock with personally, because you have, like, all these different angles covered, and they're all rooted in 80s and 90s stuff, which I think, especially for people in, like, the young to like even like to the mid 40s bracket, that's like what we're all attracted to, like culturally. So it's like I've showed like even like my pops some of your stuff in the car, like some of the more chill stuff, and he was like, that reminds me of like early Dr. Dre stuff, or like that kind of shit, you know what I mean?
And I have people that are like my parents' age, bro, that are like reaching out to me on Instagram, and they're like, their selfies in their profile pictures like close up, like
exactly.
Oh, bro, like they're like, man, I love this stuff, man. It's crazy. It's wild, bro. That's what keeps me going, man, to just keep on creating, man. It's so much more I'm about to put out, man. I've been holding on to stuff, man. I got a lot of stuff to store.
Literally had a question written down because I saw that video of you and Freddie Gibbs a couple weeks ago when you first posted it. About an hour ago, right before we started doing this, you posted another teaser for it. How long has he known about you? Did you reach out to him, or was it vice versa? How did that work? And when is that coming out?
We actually recently got acquainted, I think, in the beginning of this year. My boy, JD from Balcony Lifestyle, shout out to JD. That's my brother. He's been around since the Raider Clan stuff too. So he had his brand, and while he was pushing his brand, me and Almighty and everybody, we would used to wear his clothes. Like he would come to our shows and drop a duffel bag, and he'd be like, yo, y'all get whatever y'all want. And we always supported him. But later down the line, he had Purpp wearing his stuff, he had Currency wearing his stuff, and Freddie Gibbs was wearing his stuff. It came to a point in time where, they built the chemistry, and then he started managing them. And from what I understand, man, JD was playing the RNG tape that me and Gensha did, and Freddie was like, what's that? And he's like, man, it's my boy, man. I know these dudes. And it just so happened, coincidence, like him and Anderson .Paak left they was on Jimmy Kimmel together. So they flew from over there to Nashville. And then that's when I met Anderson .Paak, and then I met Freddie Gibbs. And from there, we got acquainted, man. Like, it's like meeting like a long lost friend, bro. Freddie Gibbs, that man is hilarious, bro.
He's a top tier internet personality. Bro, his Twitter and Instagram is like golden.
He is comical, bro. Like, he's funny. Yeah, man, we built this chemistry, bro, of him being around all of my people, and just JD kind of like bringing us together to where now it's who knows where this will go. And the song that you heard that I just posted a little snippet of, it was an open verse I had. Freddie liked it, man, and he hopped up on it and he killed it. So
a lot of the times when like those artists get big, you kind of think that they like tune out of like keeping their ear to like new music just because like they're so on top of everything. But it's cool to hear someone like Gibbs, who's literally like on top of the world, Grammy nominated, like being able to like hear your stuff and just be like, yeah, that shit's tight. I want to work with that dude.
I still can't believe it, man.
No, yeah, that's super dope. And like, that's very well deserved. Cause like I said earlier, like you just kind of always like stuck to that underground thing. Like if you find me, cool. If not, cool. And the fact that like someone to his level heard your stuff and was like, I want to work with this guy. Like that's such a nice cosign. That's natural.
Crazy, man. I've been getting a lot of DMs from like fans that have been listening to me since they were kids, and they're like, man, I'm so happy for you, bro. It's like the fans, the Raider Clan fans, bro, they really like, and I remember some of these ad names from Instagram too, man. And I'm just like, bro, I remember when y'all like, man, I was walking to work and stuff, bro. Like, and they stuck by me, bro. It's just crazy to see, you know, my supporters really happy for me, bro. So it's only up from here though, man. The grind continues, man. Nothing stops, man. We got to keep going, man.
No, absolutely. Last question is, you're always working on new stuff. You may or may not have a Freddie Gibbs collab coming up. You may or may not have a Larry June collab at some point if that ever comes out of the woodworks.
It was supposed to happen, but see, a fan on Twitter was like, man, it would be cool to see Slim and Larry on the same track, man. I remember seeing that and I took a nap and I woke up to like 60 like tweet notifications, man. And Larry June, he followed me and DM me. He said, man, I'm rocking with you, bro. He said, man, let's tap in. But around that time when Larry was like popping, he was already getting ready to work with Wiz. So he got so busy, it just never happened. But, you know, hey, man, the universe, man, is a beautiful thing, bro. It's a time and place for anything, man. You know, it's just not the time right now, but we're going to see, man, you know?
Yeah, you never know. With the Freddie connection, with the Larry June mention, you might be on an Alchemist beat in the near future. You never know. You never know. Last question I have for you is, you have talked about a couple times, you don't rock with a whole lot of modern music just because the scene's changed too much and it's like kind of hard to keep up with for you, and it doesn't really hit any boxes for the particular music you care about. But if is there any particular artists out there right now that you think are deserving a shout out in this section?
Man, of course, bro. Definitely got to shout out my passion players, my guys, bro.
Absolutely.
You know, like Quan, Miles, you know, Dirty Red, Almighty, Genshin, Savzilla, man, Melvin, you know what I'm saying, Be Fresh, you know, Zeal up above, man, and most importantly, Kinayada and Amber London. I can't forget about my people, man. I'm a family man, bro. You know what I'm saying? I can't forget about all my people that have been down for me, been rocking with me for so long. But if I was to pick an artist, a modern day artist right now, I would say The Boy, S.O.B., man. That's one of my favorite artists right now, bro. I love listening to his stuff.
If you guys don't know, check them out. Definitely. I know Dev's a big fan. Thank you so much to Slim Guerilla. Like I said, if you guys don't know who he is, get familiar with him. He is an underground legend, part of one of the biggest movements in modern music's history. And thank you again to the family over at Bligatory for setting up this interview. Let us know down in the comments who else you would like to see interviewed. And while you're down in those comments, check out all the links in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, guys, thank you and take care.
Blessings, man.
Passion Playas.
They tryna lock me in the cell so I can write in hell. Call my nigga, I might tell me to get my need that bail.